equals Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the quantum display in her underground laboratory at CERN, her hands trembling as she rechecked the calculations for the 100th time. The pattern couldn't be coincidental. 15 advanced civilizations, all gone dark within days of detecting Earth's unique quantum signature. She discovered it while studying deep space quantum entanglement phenomena, hoping to establish faster-than-light communication. Dr. Chen, the voice of her AI assistant, ARIA, broke through her concentration. You've been staring at the same data set for 3 hours and 14 minutes. Your cortisol levels suggest severe stress. Sarah ran her fingers through her short black hair, exhaling slowly. Because what I'm seeing shouldn't be possible, ARIA. These civilizations didn't just go quiet. They vanished completely. And the timing. She pulled up a holographic timeline, dots of light representing each disappeared civilization. Every single one, right after they detected our quantum signature. The laboratory hummed with the sound of quantum computers, their super-cooled chambers maintaining the delicate quantum states needed for her research. Outside, the Swiss mountains loomed in the darkness, their peaks barely visible through the reinforced windows, designed to withstand the intense energies her experiments sometimes produced. Director Matthews needs to see this, Sarah muttered, gathering her data. But before she could initiate the call, Aria's voice took on an unusual urgency. Dr. Chen, I'm detecting an anomaly in the quantum field. It's unlike anything in our database. The laboratory's lights flickered as Sarah rushed to her main console. The quantum field readings were spiking in patterns she'd never seen before. This is impossible. The energy required to create these fluctuations would exceed the output of our sun. Energy signature is not consistent with known physics, Aria reported. Pattern suggests intelligence. Sarah's heart nearly stopped as she realized what she was seeing. They're not disappearing because something is destroying them, she whispered. They're disappearing because they're running away. The question is, from what? The answer came sooner than she expected. The quantum display erupted in a cascade of impossible readings as a message began forming directly in the quantum field itself, bypassing all known methods of communication. The message was simple, but its implications would change humanity forever. You are the ones we chose. You alone can bear it. The universe has greater dangers than death, and you must be its guardians. Sarah's quantum computers began downloading vast amounts of data, information that no human mind had ever been meant to comprehend. But as the data flowed, she realized something extraordinary. She could understand it. Not just understand it, but feel it resonating with something deep within her own DNA. ARIA. Contact Director Matthews and the UN Security Council immediately, Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of what she'd discovered. Tell them we finally know why we're alone in our corner of the galaxy, and why we've never been invaded despite being relatively primitive by cosmic standards. What should I tell them specifically, Dr. Chen? Sarah's eyes remained fixed on the quantum display, watching as more data poured in, each byte confirming her incredible theory. Tell them that humanity isn't just another species stumbling toward the stars. We're something else entirely. Something those other civilizations recognized and fled from. We're not the ones who need protection from the cosmos. We're the ones chosen to protect it. As she spoke those words, quantum sensors around the globe began detecting massive energy signatures approaching from deep space. But unlike the 15 civilizations that had fled, these visitors weren't running away. They were coming to Earth with purpose, with desperation, with hope. Humanity was about to learn its true role in the cosmic order, and Sarah Chen would be the one to help her species understand the power they'd possessed all along, a power that made them both the universe's greatest hope and its most terrifying potential. The first contact humanity had dreamed of for centuries was finally happening, but not in any way they had imagined. They weren't meeting their peers among the stars. They were meeting their refugees, their supplicants, their wards. And the responsibility that came with that role would test humanity in ways no one could have predicted. Sarah looked at her trembling hands, now glowing with a faint quantum energy she'd never noticed before. Whatever humanity was, whatever they had been chosen to become, there would be no turning back. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see if humanity would accept its cosmic destiny or run from it as so many had before. But the transformation came with a price. The power required to rewrite the laws of reality had pushed human consciousness to its absolute limit. As the last Void Hunter transformed, Sarah felt the quantum field begin to fluctuate dangerously. "The field is collapsing," Araya warned. "Human consciousness can't maintain this level of power." Yet even as the warning came, their alien allies moved as one. The Arcturians extended their crystalline network, creating quantum pathways throughout the solar system. The Luminides poured their energy into these pathways, while the Myarkai used their biotechnology to stabilize the human minds, channeling such vast power. In that moment, humanity's true purpose became clear. They were never meant to be just guardians or creators. They were meant to be bridges. Through them, the different species of the galaxy could unite their abilities in ways never before possible. The power that had awakened in humanity wasn't meant to be wielded by them alone, but to be shared with all conscious beings. As the quantum field stabilized, reality itself had changed. The transformed Void Hunters now worked alongside humans and aliens, their ancient knowledge guided by human creativity and alien wisdom. Together, they began to heal the damage done to the cosmos, restoring the consumed planets and stars. Earth became more than just a refuge. It became a beacon, a symbol of what was possible when different species came together in unity. The human quantum awakening had triggered something far greater, the awakening of the universe itself to new possibilities. Sarah stood at the quantum interface one last time, feeling the transformed consciousness of humanity flowing through the cosmos. They had faced the ultimate test, not by fighting or destroying, but by creating something entirely new. The universe had gambled on humanity's potential, and that gamble had paid off in ways no one could have predicted. As the first new stars began to shine in the restored sky, Sarah felt a deep truth resonate through the quantum field. This wasn't an ending, but a beginning. Humanity had found its place in the cosmos not as conquerors or guardians, but as catalysts for change, bridges between species and creators of new realities. The legacy of Earth would echo through the cosmos forever, not as the world that stood against the darkness, but as the world that taught the universe how to dream again. As the chamber emptied of politicians and military leaders, Sarah remained, watching the quantum field fluctuations that only she could see. Humanity had never been alone in the universe. They had been in training, preparing for this moment without knowing it. The question was, would that training be enough for what was coming? The stars themselves seemed to tremble as the first refugee ships entered Earth orbit, their massive forms casting shadows across cities below. Humanity's first contact wouldn't be a single moment, but an avalanche of them. And somewhere out in the darkness, the Void Hunters were watching, calculating, hunting. The universe had placed its bet on humanity. Soon, everyone would find out if that bet would pay off. The skies above Earth had never been so crowded. Massive refugee ships from 17 different civilizations hung in orbit like artificial constellations, their diverse architectures creating a symphony of alien engineering. In her quantum-enhanced vision, Dr. Sarah Chen could see the intricate patterns of energy flowing through each vessel, beautiful but dimming. Their power supplies were running critically low after their desperate flight across the galaxy. "The Arcturian ship is requesting emergency docking," Araya reported. "Their quantum core is failing." Sarah stood at the newly constructed Galactic Refugee Command Center, built in record time beneath the Rocky Mountains. "Direct them to Landing Zone 7. And Araya, I need you to monitor something for me. The quantum awakening. It's spreading." She wasn't wrong. Across the globe, humans were beginning to manifest abilities similar to Sarah's. The ancient power encoded in their DNA was responding to the crisis, activating in ways that defied conventional science. Dr. James Rodriguez, a pediatrician in Mexico City, discovered he could see quantum pathways in his patients' bodies, healing them with a touch. Captain Emily Okonjo of the Nigerian Space Force found she could navigate quantum space instinctively, coordinating the increasingly complex dance of refugee ships in Earth's orbit. Even children were showing signs, their dreams filled with quantum equations they couldn't possibly understand. Quantum awakening has reached 15% of global population, ERIA confirmed. Progression is geometric. At current rates, full species activation will occur within 72 hours. Sarah pressed her hands against the quantum interface, connecting directly with the global network of awakened humans. Their experiences flooded her consciousness: fear, wonder, confusion, and underneath it all, a growing sense of purpose. The chamber door hissed open as General Martinez strode in, followed by an unusual delegation. 3 alien species, the crystalline Arcturians, the energy-based Luminides, and the biotechnological Mirakai, had requested an emergency council. Dr. Chen, the Arcturian speaker's crystal form refracted light in complex patterns that translated to speech. "We bring grave news. The Void Hunters, they're not just coming. They're already here." The Luminide representative, a being of pure energy contained in a specialized field, pulsed with urgent patterns. "Our long-range quantum sensors detect them moving through the spaces between spaces. They're consuming reality itself." "Show me," Sarah commanded, extending her quantum senses through the refugee fleet's sensor network. What she saw chilled her to her core. The fabric of space-time itself was being unraveled at the edges of the solar system, reality dissolving into nothingness. "How long?" General Martinez demanded. The Mirakai representative, a fusion of organic and mechanical parts, interfaced directly with their fleet's computers. "At current progression, 48 hours until they reach Earth's orbit." Sarah felt a sudden surge in the quantum field, accompanied by millions of simultaneous gasps across the planet. Every awakened human had felt it, the first direct touch of the Void Hunters' consciousness against their own. It was ancient, hungry, and utterly alien. But something else was happening too. The quantum energy flowing through humanity wasn't just defensive, it was creative. Where the Void Hunters destroyed, humans could build. Where they consumed, humanity could restore. "We need to evacuate your ships," Sarah announced to the alien delegation. "Not away from Earth, down to it. Your people need to be on the surface when it happens." "When what happens?" General Martinez asked, though something in her newly awakened quantum senses suggested she already knew. Sarah's eyes glowed with increasing intensity as she accessed humanity's collective quantum consciousness. "The full awakening. We're not just going to fight the Void Hunters. We're going to rewrite the rules they're using to unmake reality." The alien representatives exchanged looks of astonishment. The Arcturian speaker's crystalline form vibrated with emotion. "Such a thing. It should be impossible. The energy required. Look around you." Sarah gestured to the quantum display showing the growing power of humanity's awakening. 8 billion humans, each carrying a fraction of the universe's original creative force. Apart, we're powerful. Together. She left the implications hanging in the air. The aliens had flown to Earth expecting sanctuary, but what they were about to witness was something far more profound. Humanity wasn't just going to shelter them. They were going to remind the universe itself how to fight back. As evacuation orders went out to the refugee fleet, Sarah felt another tremor in the quantum field. The Void Hunters had sensed humanity's growing power. They were accelerating their approach. The race between humanity's awakening and the universe's unmaking had begun. And somewhere in the quantum consciousness of 8 billion awakening humans, ancient memories were stirring. Memories of the universe's creation, of the powers that had shaped reality itself, and of why humanity had been chosen to inherit those powers. The final confrontation wouldn't just be for survival. It would determine the very nature of reality itself. The sky above Earth had turned black, not the familiar darkness of space, but an absolute void that consumed even starlight. The Void Hunters were no longer hiding their approach, their very presence erasing reality in expanding waves. In the Galactic Refugee Command Center, Dr. Sarah Chen watched as the quantum field readings approached levels that shouldn't have been possible. 24 hours until total reality failure in the outer solar system, Araya reported, her voice carrying an unusual edge of emotion. The refugee evacuation is at 89% completion. Sarah stood at the central quantum interface, her consciousness linked to millions of awakened humans worldwide. The transformation of humanity had accelerated beyond all predictions. Now nearly 60% of the population could access the quantum field. Each awakening strengthened the collective consciousness, adding to the growing power that hummed through the planet's very core. General Martinez entered the command center, her uniform dusty from personally overseeing refugee relocations. The last of the Luminides are being moved to the underground sanctuary in Australia. The Myarkai are settled in the European complex, and the Arcturians. She paused, allowing herself a small smile. They've actually started helping us. Their crystal technology interfaces perfectly with human quantum abilities. We're going to need every advantage, Sarah replied, her eyes fixed on the approaching darkness. Because we just received a message from them. The quantum interface flickered as Sarah shared what she'd received. Not words or images, but pure concepts that burned in the mind. The Void Hunters were offering a choice. Earth could be spared if humanity agreed to surrender their quantum powers and return to their previous state of limited consciousness. They're afraid of us. The Arcturian speaker materialized in the command center, their crystalline form resonating with the quantum field. In all our histories, no species has ever manifested powers like yours. The Void Hunters consume realities because they believe they are the only ones worthy of wielding such fundamental forces. A holographic display showed the refugee settlements around the globe. Millions of aliens living among humans, sharing technology and knowledge even as they prepared for what might be the end of everything. In Mexico City, Arcturian crystals had merged with human architecture, creating structures that channeled quantum energy. In Lagos, Luminide energy beings were teaching human children how to perceive multiple dimensions. The Myarkai had integrated their biotechnology with human medical facilities, saving lives in ways previously thought impossible. We're stronger together, Sarah observed, watching the interactions through her quantum senses. That's what they truly fear, not just our power, but our ability to share it, to grow, to create something new. Dr. Chen, ARI interrupted. Quantum surge detected. The Void Hunters, they're attempting to communicate directly with the human collective consciousness. The sensation hit every awakened human simultaneously. A vast, ancient intelligence pressing against their minds. It carried memories of the universe's birth, of countless realities consumed, of power absolute and eternal. And with those memories came understanding. The Void Hunters weren't just destroyers, they were the original shapers of reality who had become corrupted by their own power. They're showing us what we could become, Sarah whispered, her voice carrying to every quantum-linked human on Earth. Why they think we need to be stopped before we follow their path. The choice became clear in every awakened mind. Surrender their power and survive as they were, or risk becoming what they fought against. The Void Hunters were offering mercy, through extinction of consciousness rather than reality. But as the collective human consciousness processed this choice, something unexpected happened. Through their connection to the quantum field, humans began sharing not just thoughts but experiences, a child's first laugh, a mother's love, the triumph of discovery, the joy of creation, the power of forgiveness, the strength found in unity despite differences. We are not you. Sarah projected the collective human response into the quantum field. We never will be. Because we understand something you forgot. Power isn't meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be shared. As if to emphasize her words, the quantum field around Earth pulsed with new energy as the remaining 40% of humanity began awakening simultaneously. But this time, the power felt different. It wasn't just human consciousness expanding. It was evolving, shaped by the very diversity they had sheltered. The Void Hunters' response was immediate and devastating. The barrier between realities began to crack as they pushed through with their full power, intent on ending the experiment of human consciousness before it could fully bloom. But humanity wasn't fighting alone anymore. As reality itself began to waver, the refugees stood with their protectors, adding their own unique energies to the quantum field. Together, they prepared to make their stand against the force that had shaped, and now threatened, all of existence. The final battle for reality itself was about to begin, and humanity had made its choice. They would not surrender their power. They would transform it into something entirely new. Reality rippled like water in a storm as the Void Hunters launched their final assault on Earth. The outer planets had already begun to dissolve, their matter and energy being consumed by the encroaching nothingness. But in the Galactic Refugee Command Center, Dr. Sarah Chen smiled as she felt the quantum field pulse with unprecedented power. "All of humanity is awakened," she announced, her voice carrying through the quantum network that now connected every human mind. And we're not alone. Around the globe, humans and aliens worked in perfect synchronization. Arcturian crystals amplified human quantum abilities, while luminide energy beings helped channel the raw power of consciousness. The Myrickes biotechnology merged with human DNA, creating interfaces between mind and matter that had never existed before. "They're breaking through." General Martinez's voice echoed through the quantum field as the barrier between realities shattered. The Void Hunters emerged, vast, geometric patterns of unlight that denied the very existence of matter and energy. But humanity was ready. As one consciousness, 8 billion humans reached out through the quantum field, not to attack, but to create. Where the Void Hunters unmade reality, humanity began to rewrite it. Every human experience, every memory, every dream and hope and fear became raw material for something new. "We understand now," Sarah projected toward the ancient entities. "You didn't choose us to be guardians. You chose us to be creators." The truth unfolded in the quantum field. Humanity's unique gift wasn't their power to fight or destroy, but their ability to imagine, to dream, to envision possibilities that had never existed before. The universe itself had encoded this ability into their DNA, preparing for the moment when reality would need to be renewed rather than merely preserved. As the Void Hunters pressed their assault, something unprecedented began to happen. Human consciousness, amplified by alien technology and driven by collective will, began to create new laws of physics. Reality itself responded to human imagination, restructuring around their collective vision of what could be rather than what had been. "Look!" The Arcturian speaker's crystalline form vibrated with excitement. "They're not destroying the Void Hunters. They're transforming them." Indeed, where the geometric patterns of unlight touched the new reality humans were creating, they began to change. The ancient corruption that had turned the original shapers of reality into destroyers began to unravel, replaced by something that even the Void Hunters themselves had forgotten: the joy of creation. Through the quantum field, Sarah felt the moment the first Void Hunter understood. Its pattern shifted, darkness becoming light, destruction becoming creation. One by one, the entities that had threatened to unmake reality began to remember their original purpose. But Sarah already knew the answer. Running wasn't in humanity's nature. They would face whatever was coming, not because they were fearless, but because that's what guardians do. And somehow, in the grand design of the universe, humanity had been chosen for exactly that role. The United Nations Security Council chamber had never been so silent. Dr. Sarah Chen's presentation hung in the air like a thundercloud, the implications of her discovery rendering even the most seasoned diplomats speechless. The quantum data projections cast an ethereal blue glow across worried faces. "You're telling us," General Diana Martins of the UN Space Command finally spoke, her voice tight with controlled tension, that we're not just detecting alien civilizations, we're scaring them away. Not exactly scaring them, Sarah corrected, her quantum-touched hands now carefully concealed in her loud coat pockets. They're recognizing something in us that they believe requires distance, safe distance. The Russian ambassador leaned forward, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. And this message you received, you're certain it's authentic? Before Sarah could respond, every electronic device in the chamber simultaneously activated. Araya's voice emerged from multiple speakers at once, carrying an urgency Sarah had never heard before. Multiple quantum signatures detected approaching Earth. Configuration matches historical patterns of civilizations that previously fled, but their approach vectors are deliberate. They're coming here intentionally. The chamber erupted in controlled chaos as military leaders reached for their phones and diplomats hurriedly consulted with their governments. But Sarah's attention was drawn to something else. A new pattern emerging in the quantum field, visible only to her enhanced perception. "Everyone, please," she called out, her voice cutting through the chaos. "There's something else. A signal from much further out, beyond our galaxy." The room fell silent again as Sarah interfaced with the quantum computers through her newly awakened abilities. The message resolved itself in multiple dimensions, more complex than any human communication had ever been. "They're coming," Sarah translated, her voice trembling slightly. "The Void Hunters. The things that exist between universes. And we're the only ones who can stop them." General Martinez's hand instinctively moved to where her sidearm would usually be. "These Void Hunters, what exactly are they?" According to the signal, Sarah continued, her eyes now glowing faintly with quantum energy, "they're entities that predate our universe. They feed on reality itself, consuming entire dimensions. The civilizations approaching us, they're not running from us anymore. They're running to us, for protection." The Chinese ambassador's translator worked overtime as he rapidly spoke. "But why us? We barely have interplanetary travel. Our technology is primitive compared to these others." Sarah pulled up a new holographic display, showing human DNA alongside quantum field measurements. "Because we're different. Somewhere in our evolution, something changed us. The quantum signature that others detected, it's not our technology. It's us. Every human being carries a fraction of something ancient and powerful, something that predates the Void Hunters themselves." The UK's Prime Minister, attending via secure quantum link, spoke up. "You mean we're some kind of weapon?" "No," Sarah shook her head. "We're an immune system. The universe itself altered our species to create guardians. That's why we've always felt this drive to explore, to protect, to fight against overwhelming odds. It's literally in our DNA." As if to punctuate her words, Araya announced, "First wave of alien vessels entering the solar system. 17 distinct species detected. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. They're requesting asylum." The Secretary General stood, his decision made. "Dr. Chen, you're now humanity's chief xenologist. General Martinez, prepare our forces, not for war, but for the largest humanitarian operation in human history. If these civilizations are seeking our protection, we will not turn them away." Sarah's quantum-enhanced senses could feel the approaching ships, each carrying thousands of refugees from across the galaxy. But beyond them, in the darkness between stars, she sensed something else. The Void Hunters were moving, drawn by the concentration of life and consciousness gathering around Earth. The next few weeks would determine not just humanity's fate, but the fate of all reality. Different species with different biologies and technologies and cultures, all coming together under human protection. It was everything humanity had dreamed of about first contact, but with a terrible price attached.